Welcome in episode 23, KU, December 30th, 2024. It is Monday, last show of the year. It's been a great year, boys. How we feeling?
Wow. It's
Sad.
last year of the year. It's been a great first year, even though we started week
Week 4?
4 or 5? Right around the Iowa game. We started so week 4. It's been a good little run. Excited to take this into the playoffs like we have. My bracket's still perfect.
I think you're the only one.
Yes,
no
yeah.
ball.
Our first podcast episode was September 24th, so I think like week 4.
There we go.
Seems right. Which it still feels like we've been doing this for however many months. Crazy. Connor, how we feeling? How you doing? Good.
I'm sad.
Sad? What you sad?
Yeah. I don't want football season to be over. I wish it was year round.
Well, it's not over, so don't be sad now. You got a long time to be sad.
Well, if you had it year round, then we'd probably get tired of it.
No.
You get fatigued on it.
Quality over quantity. It sucks, but quality over
Product. It's the value.
Also, shout out. I've been acknowledged of a big fan of mine, Sarah's grandpa.
Hi, Pastor.
Hi,
Pastor Dirt.
Pastor Dirk.
Shout out.
That was all.
The biggest fan. Week in and week out.
Yeah.
Puts up with Danny's craziness every week.
Somebody gets it.
Yeah.
See, Mom? Somebody understands.
Someone here knows. But yeah, we got four more playoff games. Quick turnaround. We'll preview those, predict those. Someone needs to get Trevor's predictions because he's not going to be in here tonight. So I guess we'll just have to guess again. Because I don't think he got any predictions right last week. Maybe Notre Dame.
He was also kind of having a rough day today as the Iowa Hawkeyes lose after completely forgetting how to play offense in the second half. Sullivan, great quarterback, and then the second half they just
did they forget how to play offense, or did they remember how to play offense?
The first half and second half was a whole different vibe, I feel like,
because their normal offense was what we saw in the second half.
Yeah.
So maybe they remembered how to play the wrong way.
You know what I'm saying? They took it to halftime and they left it in there.
Yeah, probably. Probably a better thing. But yeah, we'll get into it. 4 games in total. One tomorrow night on 7:30 p.m. Boise State, Penn State, and Fiesta Bowl. And we have 3 on Wednesday, New Year's Day. We got the Peach Bowl, Texas, Arizona State. We got Oregon, Ohio State, and the Rose Bowl. And then Georgia, Notre Dame, and the nightcap. That game's going to end so late. Why do they do this to us?
Literally pretty much 9 o'clock kickoff.
It's going to end at midnight.
Oh, probably. Yeah. It'll be Ohio State, Georgia a couple years ago.
It was like, what was the national championship last year? That thing didn't end until I felt like 12:20 at night.
Yeah,
that game wasn't really close.
That was one of the only natties here recently that I've been able to watch. I mean, I've watched them all, but enjoy.
Just out of curiosity, do you remember the last national championship that was within one score? I looked this up recently.
Last score, well, last year, no. 2 years ago, no. 3 years ago was no. That was like a 9-point win to Georgia-Bama game.
The pick six late made it like two scores.
Yeah. I think
I'll spoil it. It's 2018, the overtime game, Georgia-Alabama.
Oh.
It's been that long.
Georgia-Alabama was 18? Wow. Oh, wait, is that the 2nd and 26? Holy crap. Yeah, because 19 LSU Clemson was kind of a blowout. I mean, but that game –
it was close until the 4th.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The semifinal games, man, they've been better.
Yeah, which we didn't think that was the case. We had back-to-back amazing ones with Clemson, Alabama, within like what? That was 2017, and 2018 with Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah,
those games back-to-back.
What was the Hunter Renfrow where he caught it with 1
I think that was 2017.
I know Clemson won in 16 and 18, but I think it was in 2017. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
this year.
All right. I hadn't had a time to make the graphics, but I'll type it as we talk. But the first game, we'll review them in order. Tuesday night, tomorrow night, New Year's Eve. The ball's dropping on someone's playoff hopes and a national championship hopes. Boise State, number 3 seed in the playoff. They're going to be taking on number 6 seed Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. They got the first round bye with winning the Mountain West Championship. It'll be 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. Boise State is 10.5-point underdogs in Arizona. So this one's Boise State's got a chance to prove that they were not a fluke this year, because there's a lot of narratives going out there that they shouldn't have gotten this high of a seed. Probably shouldn't have. They're not that good of a team compared to the rest of the field, but they're here and they're in the spot, and we got to take advantage of it. So, Danny, the outlook for Penn State is they're coming off a really dominant performance against SMU. They look good against Oregon. They're on back-to-back hot streak with playing pretty good playoff teams and looking well on offense. Can they keep it up against Boise State, or can they make it competitive?
Oh, I mean, they'll be able to roll Boise. I think they win by like 15-ish. I think their offense is legit. Their only thing that scares me is a lot like Ohio State. I feel like they're not always showing up. The chance that Boise State beats them is high. Like, the chance that it's possible is high, but if Penn State plays their A game, they're going to the Natty. I think they're really good. It's just they're like Ohio State, but a little more on the extreme side with their floor. They can really plummet. But I think Boise's one-dimensional enough to, they can come in, focus on what they got to focus on, beat them. I just think Boise being one-dimensional is going to kill them. I think Penn State's good enough to have one, be able to stop one thing very clearly. Stop the run and then go score.
Yeah. Connor, do you mimic what Danny said, or do you think Boise State has a path to kind of take down Penn State here?
I'm with Danny on this one. I think Penn State's going to shut down Ashton Genty. Give me the Nittany Lions by a lot. I don't think it's going to be much of a game.
Yeah, and I don't really think that Penn State played their best game against SMU as much as I think they just kind of got, almost 21 points like that, given to them. So I think their offense is still due. But, man, if they play like how they did against Oregon, they can beat anybody in the country, including Ohio State, including Oregon.
I agree. Yeah.
How often has James Franklin had a team on the field like that? It's really just been about that game.
The thing is, they mimic what Ohio State does with players, like athletic players. They like speed. They're not going to bully anyone in the topper echelon of the sport.
At this point of this.
Yeah, so far, what they've proven.
Yeah.
Like Ohio State, Michigan, last few years, Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss. They're not going to push around those kind of teams.
Right.
They'll beat who they're supposed to beat, which like they did against SMU, like they did against everyone other than Ohio State this year on their schedule, and Oregon. They're built to thrive in this situation. And it's a neutral site game. Not that it matters too much to them. I mean, their fans travel decently well anyway.
Yeah.
But this is a big opportunity for Boise State to finally prove something, and for Ashton Genty to prove something. I said it a couple weeks ago that if he can run on this defense and kind of make people think that maybe I should have had the Heisman Trophy instead of Travis Hunter, because we saw what he did. His team got blown out 34-7.
Yeah.
Him being the only score, but regardless, I like Penn State in this game. I think they'll be able to contain Genty. It's kind of just like, he's going to get his. Just don't let anyone else beat you.
Right. And, I mean, even if he does get his and goes for, let's be honest, 170 and 2 scores is a hell of a game.
Right.
I mean, you do that, that's not beating Penn State.
I mean, that's what –
it's not.
Like Michael Jordan's years, when they played their toughest teams, it was like, okay, Michael Jordan's going to get his 25 points a game, 30 points. Just don't let Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman beat you.
Right.
And that's what they're going to do here. They're going to just, okay, you can run a little bit, but we're not going to overbear just selling out on anything else.
That's what I think a little foreshadowing. I have a team that I'm going to pick later that is a yes on these things. They're not just a one-man show. But yeah, with Boise and Genty, like you said, you know the game plan. He's going to get 18 carries. But if he gets 18 carries and averages, 2.5 yards in those carries, and you limit the run breaks, like where he busts one for 20 plus, if you limit those, yeah, he might get his, like I said, $170, 2 scores, but what, you win 28-14, 31-14?
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Danny, Trevor is taking Penn State in this game.
Taking Penn State.
Oh,
did you say why? No reason?
No reason. He just gave me his picks, and that was about it.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm going to be riding the same way. I think Penn State, they're in a really good spot. They're in the best spot they've had to win a national championship in God knows how long. What makes me nervous is the lore with Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, because we all know about the trick plays. It's been since 2007, though.
Yeah.
17 years.
That's a cool Twitter stat, but it don't mean nothing. Literally 0. It means just as much as what color underwear I'm going to be wearing.
I don't know. If it's the right underwear, it could be a big thing.
It's gray.
Yeah, I'll take Penn State in this one. I think it is a bigger score. I think they put up a pretty big number. I think it's going to be like a 30-21 type game. I think Boise State is strong enough to cover.
They can color.
Yeah, they can color. They can color.
Stay inside the lines, though.
They got blue. They got blue turf. They can color. Yeah, I think Penn State rolls. I just think Genty, he'll get his. I think he'll have a couple touchdowns, probably 100 yards rushing. Yeah, give me the Nittany Lions. Danny, did you give your score prediction?
I think, you know what? I think I'm going to rock with my 31-14. Genty is kind of everything they got, and Penn State gets theirs, maybe 24 offensive points, and then Boise tries to force a pass, and they throw a pick 6. Yeah, 31-14.
Yeah, this definitely has a vibe.
Breaks late, though, if that matters.
You think what?
I think Penn State breaks late. Like, I think this game will be at half. It might be,
closer game.
Yeah, might be like a 10-7 even. Just because if Genty's able to run, even if they don't allow him to break the big ones, if he can run and just maintain possession, and they can get, like, even on their bad drives, if they can get 4 minutes a drive.
Right.
Just the drive only results in 37 yards if they can chunk it and just keep Aller on the sideline.
Right. Yeah. I think the way they can win this game is if they do what you said and kind of limit the possession, take time of possession, hold it, maybe get a turnover.
Right.
That's the only way you really have a legitimate shot.
You're going to have to play Big Ten football.
Right. Right. Exactly.
No mistakes in Penn State. If Penn State has more than a turnover or two, this thing could be kind of hairy for those up in State College.
Yeah, I'd definitely be getting nervous.
It's like the SMU. Nobody really, this one, it can happen. It just probably won't.
Like we said, we got to see.
This one could happen. Like, if it happens, I'll be like, damn.
Yeah. Take us our first game in 2025, I believe. There might be other bowl games, but the first playoff game of 2025. Arizona State, Texas. Texas is 13.5-point favorites in the Peach Bowl, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Shout out Chick-fil-A, the best fast food restaurant out there. I don't think there's any debate on that. Number 5, Texas. Number 4, Arizona State. Cam Skattebo and the boys.
Cam Skattebo.
They've had a lot of rest since we last seen them. The Big 10 championship or Big 12 championship game. The over/under is 51.5 in this game. It's played in Atlanta. Kind of odd for both those teams traveling east. We don't usually see that too often for a bowl games. But yeah, usually this is Georgia's home, and Arizona State's got a big opportunity to prove to the rest of the country that they are not a fluky team and they can make a legitimate run at a national championship contender. Connor, your insight for the Peach Bowl?
Canes. Chick-fil-A, Canes.
No, shut up. Make your pick because that was stupid.
Like
I might not even want to go to the bars with you tomorrow night. That's a lie, but it's you made me mad. Go on,
I'm gonna go hook 'em horns. I like Texas' defense. I'm still not on the wagon with their offense. Is Arch Manning playing in this game or no?
I mean, he'll come in
He's
for snapper too.
Yeah.
But
I just
nothing
wish they
crazy.
did Arch Manning. I feel like their offense flows better with him in. I feel like it lifts everybody else up around them. When Ewers is in, it's just nah.
Yeah.
But Ewers is good. Quinn's good. Think Texas has a pretty good shot here to win this game by a lot.
You think?
If they had the big plays. If they had the big plays.
I don't even think they need that. They just gotta out bully this team. They bully the team, they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, if they play like they did in the middle of the season, good. So give me Texas.
Score?
They're definitely not covering. I don't think they'll cover.
13.5 is a big number.
Yeah. Give me 30-21.
30-21 is taking the exact score I just picked for Penn State, Boise State.
High scoring game, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that hits the number. It's 51.5 is the over-under. Danny, same for you. Your thoughts. Can Texas keep it rolling, or is this what you were alluding earlier?
This is what I was alluding earlier. Cam Sparrow! And what's his name? Sam Levitt?
Sam Levitt, yep. Starting quarterback, Arizona State. That guy can ball.
Here's the thing, though. Arizona State, they can run the hell out of the ball. But they also have a quarterback and an offense that you saw against Iowa State that they can function without Cam. A lot of it, just the attention on Cam, they can stretch the field a little bit. I think they can do it, and I think they will do it. And I think Arizona State takes down Texas. I think Texas has kind of that weird middle ground when it came to the playoff format. They didn't really have like a Penn State run at it, like where everybody's like, yeah, Final Four, we'll see you there. But they also don't have like an Ohio State or an Oregon run where it's like, ooh, if you make the Final Four, like, good job, you survived.
Right.
I think Texas, they're kind of – nobody's really talking about them. I think they're very overrated. I don't think Georgia's all that great, and they almost beat Georgia. I don't know. Texas and Georgia, I don't know how to feel. And
it's a weird look ahead spot right now.
But I'm going to pick against both of them because I don't buy into the hype, and I'm not going to believe in them just because of the logo. While I do think, like, at some points that matters, like eventually Penn State will have to beat Ohio State, but until that happens, that burden's always going to be there. I think Arizona State can beat and will beat Texas. I think Quinn throws a pick or two, and then I think in the second or third quarter, they panic because it's 17-14. Arizona State's up, and they put in Arch, who I agree I think he kind of makes the offense go better in a weird way. I think that it's hard to just come in and start shining right away. So there's two possessions. Now it's the fourth quarter, and it's 21-14. You're down 10. And I just think this game ends up just Texas realizes their quarterback problem too late. They panic. They just have too many options. I feel like I don't know who they are. They're so different every week. And Arizona State wins in what ends up being a nail biter, 27-24.
It's like an Etch-a-Sketch where you like start drawing on it and you're trying to recreate your shape and you accidentally shake it up.
Yeah.
And guess what? Next week, completely different shape.
Right.
Looks like the same thing, but it's tainted with.
It's like an artist. It's like you got Picasso, right? You give him a pen and paper, he'll be awesome. He's going to get you the best drawing ever. You give him whatever you said, that word.
Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. That's the shake thing, right? With the two little white dots. You give him that, and you like allow like my nephew control. Hey, shake that up whenever you want to.
Right.
Picasso's got an hour time limit to paint that, but at any given point, my little buddy can come in there and be like, "That was weird." What a little kid can come in there and be like, "Ah!" And then boom, you got to start over. And yeah, you're Picasso, but if you got 5 seconds, you're not drawing anything famous.
Right. Yeah.
That went a lot. I'm just going to say I don't believe in Texas. I think they're overrated. Their defense is legit, but I think Arizona State can hit a couple deep shots. But I think I got away with the metaphors.
Yeah, you got lost in translation there.
Yeah, we're going to reel her back in. 27-24 QB struggles is Texas' downfall.
Do you think they win it late, or do you think they Texas makes a late turnover or something?
Well, I mean, I kind of explained. I think Texas messes up early. I think Arizona State grabs control. I think they go up 24-14, going, sometime late third. I think Texas puts in Arch in like the third. I think by the second or third drive, he figures it out, and they have a fourth quarter where they might win the fourth like 17-3, but they were down, and yeah.
All right.
Would not surprise me if in the second half ASU's up 10.
I think a lot of people in Austin will start getting a little sweaty.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey might be taking that trench coat off on the sideline.
That's what I'm saying. I think they have too many solutions when a problem arises instead of just playing it out. A football game's weird. It might only be 60 minutes, but man, it feels like a whole season every Saturday. I guess Wednesday.
Or Sunday.
Or Sunday. And it's just like that Bengals game. There was we said when you got over here, there were 7 different times the Bengals should have lost that game. Even as a fan, you can be like, we don't deserve this one. But, if you just stay with it. Now, if I know the NFL is different, but if you got, if you got who's the Jordan Love, if you got Jordan Love on the sideline, you might be like, Joe, come here. Even though it wasn't his fault, let's say he throws 2 or 3 picks. You put him in, and then Jordan's out there trying to figure out the game. Everybody else is in the third or fourth defense. The Broncos are in prime, like they figured out how to stop you guys. You bring in a quarterback, he's fresh. It's going to take him a drive or two to get it going. I just think Texas thinks too much. I think I don't like 2 quarterbacks. I don't like it. And I know my dad will agree with me on this one. I don't like it. I don't think you ride with your guy.
I like Texas in this game. I do get worried about the fact that Arizona State's had how much rest, how much they've heard about everyone being like, Texas, they got a national championship team. This team's good.
Did you see Cam Scatterboo kind of popping off and Sam Levitt popping off?
I have not.
Sam Levitt said he's going to prove to the world why he's the best quarterback on the field on Wednesday. And then Cam Scatterboo said nobody has stopped me and nobody will be able to stop me.
God, I mean, there's a lot of people talking today, and in every bowl game.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking.
Even Ohio State, like Jeremiah Smith was saying something about man cover. I'm like, just stop.
We'll get to it.
Please,
yeah, I like Texas a lot. I think we'll see the game that we've been waiting on Quinn Ewers to be able to have. But if he gets punched in the mouth early, just like Georgia did to him, it'll start to get a little nervous. And he said, people are going to start talking and be like, well, let's put Arch in. Right. We got to do something. But I think Quinn will find his groove. I think Texas finally will use the weapons they've had all year. Isaiah Bond's a deadly man, and if they use him right against this Arizona State team, I mean, Iowa State had success early against them, and then Arizona State just kind of put their foot on the pedal and out physical them. And I think Texas can do that to Arizona State. That's why I will take Texas in this game about 24-13. Yeah. I think that it's close, but I don't think Arizona State has enough horses to really pull it out.
How much of a leash do you think Ewers has? Like, let's say he throws a pick early. What's the vibe? Pick early and then just kind of miss it.
I think the deficit has to be 17 in the first quarter. If it's 17 in the first quarter or more, Arch comes in.
Let me give you this. 17-10. And no, we'll say 20-10. ASU's winning. let's say he threw a pick 6 and then he's like 10 for 19, and he's just not. Do you put Arch in to start the second half?
Personally,
I think you.
do I think they will?
Right, not what you would do.
That seems like the move. That seems like a move where they pull the trigger on.
Like, man, I think they pull that trigger so fast. I agree with Connor though. I think Arch is the guy. But if you're gonna think that and make the call that Quinn is the guy, then let him be the guy. I mean, until the wheels fall off. Like, if you're down, 17 going to the fourth, and Quinn's like 11 for 25, then yeah, okay. But like,
Right.
I think they just have light trigger.
Did Trevor give his pick, Connor?
Yeah. Trevor's going to say something along the lines of, this Texas team is great. Arizona State's greater. Horns down. Arizona State's his pick.
He's taking Arizona State with Danny, so we're split 50-50.
I think he might have changed.
What's up, baby? I will be wearing, probably not, but I will be thinking about wearing my ASU quarter zip.
I feel like
you can wear it under everything else.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm going to be so in for that Oregon game, and we're the second game that.
Yeah, I'm very glad Ohio State's second game of that Wednesday, because I didn't want to stay up till midnight.
No.
And then if they would have lost that midnight game, who knows? Speaking of Rose Bowl, in Pasadena, California, the most classic of all matchups, the granddaddy of them all. 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. local time on ABC. Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler on the call. The number 8 seeded Ohio State Buckeyes coming off their best performance of the season. I think no question about it. Mm-hmm. They gave the Volunteers all they could have. They're taking on the number 1 seed Oregon, 13-0, perfect thus far. Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 51.5, just like the Peach Bowl. These two played an instant classic in the first matchup. Probably the game of the year, in my opinion. Alabama, Georgia had a say, something like that. Georgia Tech was really good. But this one, as pure of a back-and-forth football game as we've had all year, nothing topped that first meeting in Eugene. Danny was there. He saw everything in person. I'm excited for this one. Ohio State's craving. They want this game so bad. They heard the narrative 2 weeks ago. They heard all they could about Michigan. Now this week, a lot of people talking about, they're going to get the revenge. They're going to get the revenge. They've been looking at this game, and then JJ Smith came out today and said, "I hope you guys play man, because if you do, we're taking our shots."
Yeah, which is not the thing you need to say there.
No, but it's a promising sign to hear if you are worried about Ryan Day being kind of shriveling back up, him and Chip Kelly being conservative and trying to just, impose their will on a team that's pretty physical.
It's kind of like telling a girl that you like, right? You're spitting your game, and then let's say she's blessed in the test.
Strictly weather app, right?
And you pull out the statement after everything's going fine. She's giggling, what? You're like, man, your tits are massive. Like, yes, it's a true statement. Everybody knows. You don't say it. Just no reward on that.
You know how you were talking about how you go back and listen to the podcast and you're like, why did I just say that?
No.
I think you'll come back to this moment and be like, that's one of the ones I wish I could have back.
Nope. No, it's not. That's why Sarah's grandpa loves me, because I say what I need to say. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm just talking ball.
Yeah. Rose Bowl. Finally, it's a Pac-12 team against Ohio State. Or not Ohio State. No, it is Ohio State, but a Big Ten team. And versus 2 Big Ten teams. Oregon's got a 13.5 mile or hour drive. If you're going from Eugene to Pasadena, it's about 13.5 hours. The flight is much closer than it is from Columbus. I believe Ohio State got in last night, if I do remember.
Yeah.
They've been there today. They're going to be there all week. It's exciting. I'm so excited for this game.
It's not like a normal Rose Bowl trip, though, where they go sightseeing and everything, though. They're kind of there for like 2 less days.
Yeah.
It's kind of
New Year's being on like the Wednesday, which is the weirdest thing. I hate it. I hate this week. This week sucked so much.
Because this is like the worst New Year's. New Year's Eve, Tuesday night, like it's just.
And then you don't even get the day after New Year's off. So it's not even like a college football day, because then you have to work the next day and you can't really celebrate like you'd actually celebrate. But anyway, Connor, how we actually give me Trevor's pick first. I want to hear Trevor's outlook on this game.
What do you think he's taking?
I think he's taking the Buckeyes because he knows it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yes. And I will piggyback off that statement.
Well, give us Trevor's pick.
Trevor's picking the Buckeyes, of course.
Did he say why?
No, he never said why. He just gave me a list.
Oh, okay.
Trevor probably say something along the lines of, it's hard to beat a team twice. This Buckeyes team is out for revenge. Something. Yeah, I don't even know. But, yeah, I was going to say it's hard to beat a team twice, too. I don't know why Jeremiah Smith is running his mouth. Like Nick Saban said on College Game Day, was it at South Bend or was it at the Tennessee?
Not important.
Not important. But he said something along the lines of, why would you care what everyone else is saying? Like a fat guy sitting on his couch typing behind his phone. Like, why do you care? But then you don't need –
I don't think he cares.
You as a player don't need to be out there tweeting, like, I hope you guys play man because we're taking our shots. Like,
they didn't tweet it. It was a press conference.
Yeah.
Well, just don't even say it at all.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was like I care what people think, so I got to voice I got to show that I'm better because nobody's doubting him. I just think it's like Cardell Jones being like, they better play 2 high safeties because I'm taking a shot. It's like, yeah, we know. Don't say it, though, because it can only come back in some freaking 14-year-old's TikTok edit that goes viral. And it's like, don't throw it to me deep. And then it's like Will Howard throws 3 picks.
Yeah.
Just don't say it. It can't. If you do it, great. But if you don't do it, don't. Will Howard, though, played great against Oregon. And this is – can I give my sense on the game?
I'm going to let Connor finish his.
Oh. I thought he was done.
Yeah, no, I wasn't done. But I picked against this team once. I'm not going to do it again. Well, I picked against this team multiple times, I think. But I'm not going to do it this time. Give me the Buckeyes to win. Give me 31-27.
I think that's the over. Yeah, that's the over.
Yeah.
Interesting prediction. He's thinking differently than the previous matchup. Danny, give me your thoughts on the game about Will Howard. You said he played one of his best games. It's one of 2 300-yard passing games, and he's coming off the other one where he looked precise and he looked like he was making NFL throws.
Yeah.
Back pylon throw to J.J. Smith, the second one, beautiful.
And it's the way he – like him and Dylan Gabriel, when they matched up, played great. But it was 2 different games. Dylan Gabriel was able to use his feet a little bit and be athletic and then hit the deep balls. Where Will Howard, when I was there, man, it was like dink and dunk and boom and pow and 15 and 8 and 7 and 9. So I think if Ohio State, if Denzel Burke and everybody, and they have not given up a passing touchdown since Oregon, which I know, like, if a team can do it, though, they're going to be, like, it's different. Oregon's different. Just like Ohio State's different for Oregon. But I think if we can, like, all we have to do is not allow those deep balls. And I think, what I'm getting at is Will Howard's way of getting to his 300 was a lot more methodical. And I think was a lot more repeatable. Whereas Gabriel, he's a great quarterback and he could easily do it again. But I mean, when you start just chucking up the balls and relying on Burke getting burnt 3 or 4 times, like, I think Burke plays a better game. I think Iggy plays a better game. But then you could go right back and forth. And, you know, if the holding guy doesn't spit in Iggy's face and get a 15-yard penalty, you know, that ended up being – we ended up holding them on that drive. It was just – this game is going to be awesome. It's going to be – I don't think it's going to be one where one team figures it out. I think we go back and forth again. However, I think the big plays are minimized on both sides. And I think that this game is a little lower scoring and a little less home run-ish. I think the drives are just like longer. And like I said, it's more like 6 to 9 yard or 5 to 8 yard plays than, 20 and 30 yard plays. I think Ohio State prevails 27-26. The reason I have such an odd score is because Oregon likes to randomly go for 2 and everything. They're very aggressive. And I think they fail on one of those, and it just ends up being a weird, like, peewee football type score. I will say, though, I hope my 27 isn't because of missed extra point, and it's because of 2 made field goals by Jaden, because, God, he scares me, man. He's not even reliable inside 30, and that just, God. Like, I get it. College kickers, you might not have a good one, even at a place like Ohio State. You might have a guy where outside 50 kind of struggles. But if you can't be at the top blue bloods, if you can't have a guy that can knock it through it 90% of the time from within 35, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. What do you think the biggest matchup in this game is? Is it Oregon's front against the D-line? Is it the Oregon's wide receivers versus our DBs? Is it the other way around?
I think it's Ohio State's struggling, depleted offensive line against an Oregon defense line that has everybody. They were missing a DN when we went out there and played.
I think Harmon.
I think because like Hensman has the lowest. The guy that originally last year was playing center. We moved him, brought in the Alabama transfer and Seth. And Hensman at left guard, amazing. Like in that Penn State game, I think he had the highest grade out of all the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
In center, he even in the Tennessee game had a terrible grade.
Low
he
snap.
Is not a good center. Our center is so, and it is easier. I mean, guards are the easiest out of the 3 positions you can be on the line, because center, you're pretty much a quarterback. And tackles, you got to be quick on your feet, because you got to protect the edge rush. But I just hate that we don't have somebody else at center. That's killing me. I think that might be a big thing. So I'm going to be watching that, and specifically the center on the D line. I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon has a lot of like A-gap blitzes, like just try and confuse him. A lot of linebackers moving around. Dan Lanning's a great coach, and if I can see, and I've heard about the center, then I know Dan Lanning's seen it, and so I'm just scared on that. I'm scared of like him having to make the adjustments right at the line. I don't know. I'm scared because that doesn't allow a deep ball. If your line's having problems, even with great quarterback and great wide receivers, if you don't allow them to give you time, then
right. So you said 27-24 final score.
27-26. No, I think this thing is.
Another
I know it's so rare that it's coming down to 1 point, but I think it's one of those games where the winner is the team that either misses a failed 2-point attempt, misses a field goal. Like, I think both teams get theirs. I think both teams might have 400 to 500 yards of total offense. Both teams have big plays, maybe 1 turnover each. I just think like these teams are it's just going to be concrete columns. But what do you think? Ohio State, Oregon, Rose Bowl, 5 o'clock.
I think the most important factor in this game is points. Points. If a team misses a field goal, if they have an extra point blocked, a mishandled snap, just like the first game, Oregon left so many points on the board. The fact that it was even like Ohio State was even a shot to win the game on a field goal, says enough about how sloppy Oregon was in certain points of that game. The going for 2, the fumbled snap on the extra point, like early in the game. And
then I think they missed the field goal.
Yeah, they missed the field goal. That's what, 5 points right there? If they have the 5, they have a 6-point lead, and Ohio State has to score a touchdown that final drive instead of having a chance for a field goal to win it, which obviously didn't even get a chance to happen. But regardless, I think these are the 2 of the top, probably the 2 best teams in the country, at least talent-wise, and how their tops they've played all year. No one's been better. I think they've played offensively the best. At least Oregon. Oregon's been precise the entire season. There hasn't really been any let up from the offensive side other than the first week of the season against Idaho. And against Boise State, they put up 30-something points.
37.
Yeah, they've put up a lot of points against anyone they played this year. Wisconsin did a pretty good job on them, but that was a kind of an out west game. They played 7 straight. It was tough. But Ohio State, they've struggled at times too. They've had a depleted offensive line, like we said. They lost 3 starters, I think it is now, or they've had 2 starters. They've rotated a third one in and out.
Simmons and McLaughlin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just keep puttering through. They had their hiccup against Michigan. Since the Oregon game, it was them and Tennessee that they played their best complete games against, at least offensively. Defense, they finally got the pass rush last week. I've been waiting on it all year. They had guys play like they're supposed to play. And I think that's the key matchup for this week, once again, is if they don't have pass rush, they will make Denzel Burke look like a bust, like a 5th-round pick in the NFL draft instead of a top 2-round pick. Igbenogsen's got to play his butt off. And if they let them play early, let them play physical, he's going to have a good game. Mm-hmm. But if they're throwing flags early, they're going to target the crap out of him. Tez Johnson's going to go off. Then the rest of the team's going to go off. That tight end for Oregon, they are going to abuse him if they're not calling anything on the outside. Because if they're not calling anything, they let the boys play. That tight end's going to be wide open down the field. Because they're going to be tugging, rubbing, jagging. You know.
What?
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, he's going to get his. He's precise. He's one of the best completion percentage passers in the football. I think he was just behind Kyle McCord all year. I hate that he's a lefty. Lefties are so ugly to watch.
God, they're stupid.
I tried playing with Michael Vick on the video game last night. I can't do anything with him because he's a lefty. I did so weird. Anyway, when it comes down to it, I've been Ryan Day's biggest supporter. Loud and proud.
Mm-hmm.
Love Ryan Day. I won't shy away from it. I think he's had great game plans. It's just the time management in big games when they're close has not been what a your college football coach should be. It's very Zach Taylor. They have the similar mindset where they get within just like this much of their field goal kicker's distance for like their max kicks, and they're like, we have points locked up. And it's like, why are you taking the ball out of your best player's hands at the most important times of games? Every time. Yeah. Never fails to amaze me. And it's bit him in the ass so many occasions. Peach Bowl 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Awful. Settle for that. Terrible.
Yeah, they kept pushing. They got down to what? Like just inside field goal range, and then they just ran the ball.
Yeah.
Got 2 yards on like 2 plays.
Completely content with it.
And just kicked a 50-some yard field goal. And it's like, dude, I don't care if you got Mike Nugent back there. You get closer.
Right.
Like, you're not inside 20. Like
even like 2019 Fiesta Bowl against Clemson. There's like questionable calls that went against them, but even the biggest moments, they couldn't step up and make the correct judgment calls and plays at the end. 2023 Michigan was the same way.
Yep.
This year's Michigan, where they didn't target J.J. Smith at all in the second half, did they?
No, I think him and Ibuka had like two targets combined,
which is insane. When your offense ran through those guys,
when they played Oregon, both of those guys had multiple touchdowns.
Exactly.
Like
if they do that,
the biggest game, you go to them. What are you doing in the Michigan game? Like,
yeah,
whatever.
They also have to lean on Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins all night. They can't shy away from that.
I think this is a good point for me to interject with the point I've been holding. You say lean on the running game. Did you know that in the second half against Oregon, we only ran the ball for 19 yards?
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's a close game. We're not down 25.
You think part of that was they were scared with Simmons going out and getting hurt in that game? Because they were leaning on the left side of the run the entire first half.
Yep. And Quinshon fumbled because he had the busted up hand. I remember going into Nebraska, and then we had a bye week after that. they finally confirmed that he broke like 3 different bones in his hand going in. Like he had surgery, and then like 6 days later was the Oregon game. It's like what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Besides the point, and coaching wise, this is a huge coaching battle where Ohio State clearly has the more experience as far as head coaching and coordinators wise with Kelly, Knowles, and Ryan Day. I mean, Ryan Day is still a young, relatively head coach compared to the rest of the college football, but Dan Lanning is significantly the more unexperienced coach, but he outcoached them the first time around with the 12-man penalty that's been patched. The loophole's been patched.
Oh God, Dan Lanning could circles around our guys.
Right. And so I think that's a big factor too. But in the end, I think I'm going to ride with the team that's been perfect all year. They're 13-0 now. They have a chance to – this would be the first win over Ohio State in a postseason event. They have 2 regular season wins against them. They've never beat them in the Rose Bowl. I think it finally comes to an end now. And on Wednesday at probably 8:30 p.m., maybe 9, depending on what time this game ends, I think we'll be seeing a new king of the Big Ten heading to the Cotton Bowl to take on Texas. I think the Ducks win this game. Another close affair. I think it's going to be right around the same number. I'm going to take Oregon to win 33-27 in an instant ESPN classic in the Rose Bowl. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be game of the year contender, just like the first one was.
That'd be insane if this one is like anything close to what we've all agreed on. Just like an insane game within 4 points. Like the whole world wants this. We're getting the Natty in the Elite Eight, which that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
Any
other thoughts, Connor? Anything else?
Buffalo Trace sponsor me.
All right. Moving on. Last one. It's the big one. Connor's probably he's been biting on the chain, tugging on the chain for this one. The number 7 seed, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, coming off a home playoff win against the Indiana Hoosiers, will be 1-point favorites, taking on the SEC champions, number 2 seed, playing with their backup quarterback, Gunnar Stockton. They are more fiery than ever. They want this so very badly. The over-under is set at 44.5. It is the lowest in the quarterfinal round. Played in New Orleans, the All-State Sugar Bowl. Georgia's usually playing in the Peach Bowl, but not this time. The SEC Tie-Ins, they have to play in the Sugar Bowl. This is a fun matchup, boys. Notre Dame was favorites not too long ago. I think it's been bet back to Georgia's side.
Yes.
Maybe Vegas is feeling a little bit frisky with how they think it's going to go. Jeremiah Love against Indiana, he had the big 98-yard touchdown run. And after that, they were kind of held in check. They were kind of held in check by Indiana. Indiana didn't play that badly. They still got out-physicaled. They just couldn't really match up well. Notre Dame and Georgia. Connor, is Gunnar Stockton a legitimate threat to you and the Notre Dame defense?
Yes. Can't take him lightly. This is his first career start. From the 86 plays, according to my connection, Marcus Freeman, up in South Bend, Indiana, he said that Gunnar Stockton is good, if not better, than Carson Beck. He can run out of the pocket. He can maneuver very well. He can sling it just like Carson Beck. Carson Beck's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying him at all. But he thinks that Gunnar Stockton could possibly be better than Carson Beck. And, I mean, that's a given. Georgia's not going to just go and recruit some phony and, you know.
He was a 5-star. Gunnar Stockton's a 5-star recruit.
They're not going to just pick up some phony and be like, oh, we're going to carry with Carson Beck and hopefully this guy follows in Carson Beck's footsteps. No,
no.
Stetson Bennett. You have Stetson Bennett, and then you have Carson Beck, and then obviously Gunnar Stockton's going to be good, if not better, because he's looked up to 2 QBs, I believe, in his career, right? He was there when Stetson Bennett was there.
I think he's younger. I don't
maybe
know.
younger. Well, anyways, that program, that's why they're good. They recruit good guys, so can't take them lightly. Georgia's defense is obviously going to try and stop the run. I think Notre Dame's defense has to stop the run too. You hold Gunnar Stockton in the pocket, keep him from scrambling, or you keep the run game down small. They're going to switch to the air raid, and who knows? From what I saw, he's good, but I don't think he's as good throwing the ball. But I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm excited for it. I hate that it's an 8:45 game. I'm debating on whether to take off of work or not for Thursday. We'll see how the game goes. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. Were you talking? You kind of butted out.
Go ahead.
So in this game, both offenses are within a yard of total yards per game. Georgia averages 426 to Notre Dame's 425. And Notre Dame's 425 is 425.9. Georgia is so much better at passing the ball. They're 11th to Notre Dame's 101st. But the rushing yards is the complete opposite. Notre Dame's 11th to Georgia's 100th. So in this game, right, I just said the biggest thing that Georgia does better on offense, they both get theirs, but they pass the ball. Georgia just lost their passer. I think it's insane. And now I understand what Connor's saying, and yeah, the kid might come in, but I think you're not starting for a reason. And I don't think Carson Beck was the greatest thing since sliced bread either. Like, I don't think Gunnar can come into this moment and win. I think this is Notre Dame's game. I think Notre Dame can play what Georgia's going to try and play, and that's a ground and pound, limit mistakes. I think Jeremiah Love is freaking the realest deal running back that I've seen in a long time. I think Notre Dame's got an insane offensive line. They're going to bully people. And in this game, I think Gunnar Stockton makes a mistake, or even if he doesn't, I don't think he can do enough mistake-free to beat Notre Dame. I think this is Notre Dame's game. I think Georgia has beaten a phony Texas team twice and then lost to Alabama. Like we're just freaking stroking their ego, and I don't think they've really proved anything. Yeah, Notre Dame lost to NIU, but since then, man, they're handling business. And there's a way that Notre Dame's went about winning their games, just ground and pound, suffocate, and you look up and they're up, 14 plus in the fourth. I just think that they're winning the games at a more, and like I said earlier with Ohio State and Oregon, I like the more realistic game plans. Like when I was saying Will Howard, his 300 yards was a better feeling 300 than Dylan Gabriel. I think Notre Dame, their offense is a more week in and week out offense than Georgia. Georgia's without their starting guy, their sheriff. And I think Notre Dame wins this game. I think they win 21-17. I don't like Notre Dame. Well, I wouldn't say I don't like them. They're pretty neutral, but they lean towards not liking. So, like, bias out. Like, I just think big boy football rules this game in a game where the team that normally bullies is out their starting guy. I think that's massive.
Here's my thing. Carson Beck has taken a significant step back than what we saw last year. Much because he lost Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey and a lot of that starting offensive line that he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I don't know what people thought he was going to be a Heisman Trophy winner when you've lost all that NFL talent. And it is Georgia. You're going to replenish it, but they're not nearly the guys that they just lost. I mean, Ladd McConkey has a legit shot to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So does Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Both of those guys average over 1,000 yards receiving this year. Regardless, Gunnar Stockton, like Connor was saying, he is very good out of the pocket. Georgia was obviously scared to throw with him. They did not let him mess that game up at all against Texas. And he tried his darndest too. He threw it to Texas late. should have been a pick six. The guy was celebrating instead of blocking, or else we'd be talking about different teams right now. There's a sense once a starter goes out, a vibe around a team is you might be more defeated. But they lit a fire under Georgia. I said this in our review. They looked like a completely different team the second half. At least the guys on the sidelines, they were much happier, it seemed. You have much more of a camaraderie with the guys. And it seems like they liked them more. Because have you seen Carson Beck? Have you seen all the snaps where it says, please run me over? I don't want to play football anymore. That guy doesn't love football. Gunnar Stockton loves football. Gunnar Stockton's a quarterback. He wants to play in the biggest games. He wants the ball in his hands. He's going to manage the game well. He's had 3 weeks to prepare for this game. There's no reason he cannot go out, deal the ball left and right, run the ball with Trevor Etienne, get them in a position where he doesn't have to win it for him. He just can't mess it up. It's kind of similar where Will Howard, how people kept saying, just game manage. Just don't find the ways to lose. Just like Riley Leonard. He hasn't found a way to lose yet. I think he will this weekend. I think Georgia's defense comes and we see a 2022 style Georgia team. I think we see a 2021 style Georgia defense where they are playing with their hair lit on fire. They did it against Texas earlier this year in Texas, where the defense stepped up, made plays, and it kept them in the game. I don't think Jeremiah Love is going to be able to run like he did last week, or at least break out like he did last week. They're held in check against Indiana for the most part. Like, there's no reason this Georgia team can't and won't do what they are supposed to do and beat Notre Dame to move on to the semifinals in the Orange Bowl to most likely be taking on Penn State. But this is a great game. I'm excited for this game. This is the one like I said on last Tuesday, this is the one that I'm most excited to watch. Danny?
Notre Dame's defense is better, though, than Georgia.
Well, they have played significantly less opponents than what Georgia has.
Yeah.
You're not going to come in here and tell me that playing Alabama, Tennessee.
Watch it happen then. Watch it happen, Josh Pate.
They played against Texas twice. They played against
Texas is phony. We spent 57 minutes exposing that.
Listen to me. Notre Dame lost to NIU. They scored 13 points in that freaking team. You think Georgia?
Ohio State lost to Michigan, and then
that's what I'm saying.
Took Tennessee to the freaking pound town. It doesn't matter.
Why is it so outrageous to think that Georgia can actually put up a game against Notre Dame?
No, I do you not know how math works? I literally said Notre Dame wins this game by 4.
And you're like saying it's atrocious that because Notre Dame's defense is better that it's outrageous to say that Georgia can win this
because of the points you're making. I'm not saying the conclusion you're coming to. I don't understand every point that you've made, like with the defense and Gunnar Stockton. He loves football. I love football. I'd throw 9 picks in the first drive of this game.
Yeah, but you're not a 5-star recruit for Georgia.
He's
got behind Carson Beck the last 2 years. He's learned on a good guy. They're giving him 3 weeks to prepare as the starting quarterback. They knew he'd be out. They knew that he'd be the starter. They knew Carson Beck would be out. There's no reason he shouldn't be ready for this moment, and he's going to thrive in it. I have no reason to think otherwise.
I think he's going to come into this game with too much energy, and I think he's just going to mess it up. He's going to try and do too much.
Also, when have we seen Notre Dame win a New Year's Six bowl game? Answer: never.
About 48 hours from now. Actually, 43 hours and 15 minutes are going to kick off their first one.
When have we seen it? When will we
You're
see
about
it?
to.
No.
You're about to.
Have they ever?
Kirby didn't beat Saban until he finally did.
Tea time.
Connor, go ahead.
I'm the true fan here, all right? We're 0-8 New Year's Six bowls. 0-8 since the BCS revamp.
You want to know why you haven't won shit since the 80s? Because of that attitude. It's a new day.
No, I'm not done. I'm not done. We're 0-8 since the revamp, right?
I'm putting money on Notre Dame.
Or no, sorry, from the BCS over into the CFP. This fucking team lost to NIU, right? The
Correct.
mentality has been absolutely flipped ever since that game. I've never seen anything like it in a Notre Dame team ever. Marcus Freeman is going to take this team to the Big Easy and absolutely dog walk the Georgia Bulldogs. All right. You're going to stop the run. You're going to stop Gunnar Stockton. The air raid's not going to work. He's not going to thrive in the moment. He's going to be shitting down his leg. Okay.
This isn't an air raid offense.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
but all they got to do is stop the run, and they can when the backup quarterback is in. They can just put 8 in the box and stop the run. Hell, they can stop the run with 6 in the box.
Stop the run, no big plays.
They're like,
Stop
I
the
bet
run,
Michigan-
no big plays. That's
When
how you
have
win
you-
this game.
You guys are betting against Kirby Smart. I'm warning you now. This is your one chance. You can flip your pick.
No,
say,
why would I
okay,
flip my pick? I've been picking Notre Dame all season.
I forgot that the other coach on that other sideline is a 2-time national championship winning head coach that knows he's had teams in this spot before. His teams have been here. He knows how to manage a clock well. Marcus Freeman hasn't had to play with his back against the wall in a big high pressure bowl game like this before. Never. There's stereotypes for a reason. And Notre Dame in big games, they find ways to lose games.
Stereotypes are meant to be broken, you racist.
No, they're not. They're stereotypes for a reason because they've happened over and over and over again for people to say that.
Boom. $20 Notre Dame money line.
Oh, Danny. Oh my gosh. When Georgia comes out firing and they're up, they have a 10-point lead in this game.
Connor, I'm riding, dog.
$20 missing.
I appreciate it, Danny, but I cannot put that kind of money on my team. Actually, I might. I don't know. Talk to me in the morning.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Okay. Talk to me in the morning.
That's all I have to say if you want to touch your team.
I just want to point out
Stop.
something.
Stop the run. No big plays.
Danny
Stop
has
the run.
taken
Gunner's
No big plays.
he's gonna mess up.
three of Danny's picks tonight are 3 of the most underachieving programs in college football over the last 5 years. Most underachieving high-profile programs. He's
It's
taking
a new day, bub. It's a new
State.
format. It's literally a new day. We pay NIL now. We have 12 teams in the playoffs. What's wrong with change? It's all about change. Change. We're going to be a transgender in college football. College football is changing everything. So I'm going to change the blue bloods, or not the blue bloods, but I'm going to change the narrative. I don't care about the narratives, actually, because the narratives suggest that Ohio State dominates Michigan. Well, since the change, they don't dominate them anymore.
Actually, the narrative says Michigan kicks our ass now. So
No, what I'm saying is the new change. So raise your fucking eyebrows. Listen, it's a new day, all right? It's a new day. Notre Dame wins big games now. All right. And this Georgia team is fraudulent. And, we're all floating around. They lost to a shitty Alabama. They beat a shitty Texas team twice. And one of them, they freaking had to take overtime. They're so overrated. And I don't care who your coach is. Nick Saban went 7-5 at what point?
I'm going back to my
first season, his very first season in Alabama.
At what point?
At very first season, 2007.
It can happen.
I'm
Danny.
going back to my stat that I said in previous podcasts, and I'll say it again. Every third year of a new head coach makes it to the national championship, and I'm sticking to it. Brian Kelly did it. Why can't Marcus Freeman? Notre Dame, dog walk, the Bulldogs.
Notre Dame's
Stop
going
the run, no big plays.
All down.
Stop the
Let me
run, no
yeah.
big plays.
That's it.
One more
Just
point.
so I get this straight, Danny.
20 plus.
I just want to hear can I just talk to you for a second? So your final 4 of the 2024 college football season to win a national championship
Who are you
is
talking
Arizona.
about? Hunter or me?
You, Danny.
Okay.
Is Arizona State, Ohio State, Penn State, and Notre Dame.
Rock on, baby.
Connor's
Who's got
final.
the bracket and who doesn't. So shut the hell up.
Connor's
You
final
can't
four
talk.
is
Shut up. You're done. You're wrong.
Texas?
You're done.
Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
You took Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I missing? Penn State.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And we'll go in the following week and dog walk the Nittany Lions.
Wow.
Sorry, give me Trevor's pick for Georgia Notre Dame. Who did he pick?
The Fighting Irish are an American, blah, 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 something, something, something. I'm going with the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's it. I'm sending
At least Trevor's on my side.
Literally nobody wants to be on your side. Your side sucks.
Yeah. The side that's won 2 national championships in the last 3 years against a team that hasn't been relevant.
That's not impressive. What's impressive is to call when they're done, when they finally end the run.
So winning 2 national championships isn't impressive.
No, it's not impressive to predict. Like I predict Georgia to win again, even though they've won 2 natties in the last 3 years. That's not cool. What's cool is to be like, no, it ends now.
And when they lose, when Notre Dame loses again, what are you going to say?
Fuck that. This is what Shane Gill said, all right? The SEC has been playing players for like years. That was terrible. Holy crap. But no, the narrative is changing, all right? Like Danny said, the SEC is going
Gillis is an average comedian.
Everything's changing. The
You
SEC
just called him an average comedian?
now.
It's funny.
And mollywops the SEC now. The playoffs are 12 teams. You can pay players. I don't know why picking.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
That you can't accept.
Accept what?
You're like, no, Notre Dame doesn't win these games. Look at the past. Even though the past literally has nothing to do with college football. If you grab somebody from 2019 and went, look, this is college football, I'd be like, fuck you, no, it's not. That's not work. You can't pay players. Yes, you can. There's not 12 teams in a playoff. Yes, there is. Oregon's not in the big.
What are we doing? What are you doing?
It changes, and you're so you're blinded. You're just like 2008.
Blinded by what? Do I think? Listen,
your big argument right now about Georgia winning this game is that they've done it in the past. I don't care about the past
because you have a culture. You have a culture and a coach that's been there and done it. We haven't seen Notre Dame do it. I don't believe it until I see it.
Tickets on the road.
Do I think they can win this game? Absolutely. I think there's no doubt that they can win this game. Do I think they will? No, I do not.
You just said you think they will win, but
I said I think they could win.
Yeah, you said they could.
I don't think they will. I think they could.
Same thing in my book. AJ changed his pick to Notre Dame, guys. Notre Dame wins.
Go Irish.
Done now.
What's happened, buddy? If Ohio State and Notre Dame wins and my bracket stays perfect, which I will say I'm picking against my own bracket, I believe. I don't think I took ASU to beat Texas in my bracket. Did I? No, I did not. But what I will say is if my bracket stays perfect and or I call this upset, that 4-5 upset, my bracket's my bracket. So I'm going to be happy if that stays perfect. But as of today, I'm calling ASU to beat Texas. I don't know why I'm pointing at this like you guys can see it. But
I can see it.
No, I mean, like you guys can see my finger. Yeah. I was like pointing at matchups.
Hey, Connor, yeah, you see that orange thing?
Shut up.
See that orange thing on the
screen?
Up.
Hey, Connor, can you be real for like 2 minutes? Can we get 2 minutes on this?
I was going with my heart on that pick.
Yeah. I mean, I get it to a point, but I feel like a lot of people also agree that Ohio State can make a run. I don't know how many people truly thought. Now, I'm right here with you. I thought Ohio State is going to be one of those – like, if we get past these first 2 rounds, I'm ready for a natty run. But when we beat Tennessee, it's like, all right, we got a shot at Oregon. Now, if we beat Oregon, then it'll be like, all right, let's go. We can do this.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, once again, the orange.
Just one spot. Everything else looked good.
Yeah. What did mine look like again? Oh, Trevor. Wait, Trevor had Ohio State. Oh, Clemson wrong. SMU is just not real. That's not.
No.
He would not have picked that.
No, he didn't. He didn't really agree with that one.
No.
But he wasn't on to defend himself, so it is what it is.
Yeah. I like my bracket, man. I think that 4-5 in the bottom left could mess me up. Other than that, though, I still strongly agree with my picks.
I strongly agree with my picks.
Well, your picks are wrong, so.
Only time will tell.
Especially the last one.
No, one is quite literally wrong already. Time already told us.
I meant like the current picks right now.
Mm.
Yours is a different way because you have two outcomes that can go either way, and you're being like, "Oh,
I said right now, I think Notre Dame can beat Georgia, which I agreed with my picks, and then I said I'd be happy either way with the Texas game, but I am calling the upset.
What makes you think they're going to lose this game?
Talking to me?
Yes, you. You're the only one that here that picked them.
I think Trevor Etienne can run on this defense, and I think Gunnar Stockton can make enough plays to win them the game.
That's where I think that to get calm again, to like bring this down because we get carried away sometimes. I love to disagree with AJ, but I truly believe in my take. I think the biggest difference here, Connor, with him and us is he believes in a quarterback that hasn't proved himself, and we are under the assumption that a backup can't beat. This game would be 21-17 in my book with Stetson Bennett or with Carson Beck. Without him, I'm gonna for sure go 21-17, and I'm gonna roll with Notre Dame. Notre Dame could have beat Georgia healthy.
I've seen lesser quarterbacks put up pretty good numbers on Notre Dame's defense.
Well, you're not gonna see it Wednesday.
I think we will.
We are less than 48 hours from both massive games tomorrow. Ohio State and Georgia, or Ohio State and Oregon's like 43 hours away, and then Notre Dame, Georgia is like 47 hours away. I feel like that break between Tennessee and this game is like right on like, okay, it's enough to feel like, yeah, we need to play and we got rest, but it's also like,
I need to kind of reset my brain because I'm in NFL mode right now, where I'm just trying to figure out all possible scenarios.
We beat Tennessee. Well, Bengals are out, so rest.
They're not.
But Miami lost. Miami won though, right?
Yeah, but if Dolphins lose, Broncos lose, Bengals win this week, they're in.
We just need the Dolphins to lose once.
And the Broncos
lose. Did you just say Broncos lose?
Broncos, Dolphins lose, Bengals win.
There it goes. Chiefs are resting their starters.
You don't think Carson Wentz wants to prove that he can play somewhere next year?
I just don't think that the
crazy
Chiefs
things have happened.
Very overrated, I think. I think they're just kings at winning these games by like 2 points.
I didn't think that the Giants were going to beat the Colts yesterday.
That is fair.
God almighty, Drew Lock played his career game.
Why as the Giants do you like at this point? Why do you win that game? And I know you can't go
because the players, they're not the ones that care. They don't care about tanking. They want to win. They want to prove that they're NFL players. The front office might want to lose for Shedeur Sanders. Drew Lock doesn't. Do you think he wants Shedeur Sanders in that locker room?
I know.
It's another guy trying to get his job. Anyway, anything else?
No, I think this round of the playoffs is going to be what we really wanted round one, but we knew just wasn't probably going to deliver. I think this is the perfect. I think 8 teams is where they should have decided, but they went a little big. I think this round, I think you can get a consistent 8 teams that really can hold their own with the national champions any given Saturday, any given day. I think this round is going to deliver because sadly, the first round did not. I mean, the best game was Texas Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of it, this whole thing is just beautiful. You love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
Love to see it. But you'd love to see it reseeded a little bit different. I saw the bracket today where it was like Arizona State would be going to Ohio State week 1 or the first round. Boise State and Indiana would be a first round matchup. Good Lord, give me that one. That'd be awesome. But maybe in a couple of years, we'll see.
I don't think it'll take them long to agree with everybody.
No, because they were like reports today, they were talking about rediscussing it and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, all the games are on ESPN.
They are. This is one of those games. Now we're at the point where everybody can play, and everybody's got one time slot where you play a night game. It's the same exact thing as last week, except on Saturday we start an hour later. We're an hour late because instead of starting at noon, we're starting at 1. We're like NFL times now.
He said Saturday. Cute little boy. It's Wednesday.
I said instead of like Saturday was Saturday was.
Bengals play Saturday night too. A lot of football.
They play another Saturday game.
They play Saturday night against Pittsburgh.
They watch everything happen, and then Saturday night rolls around. Or is the Broncos game Sunday?
Yeah, the Bengals game Saturday night, and then the rest of our Sunday at 1 or 4.
If the Bengals can beat the Steelers, which they
here's the thing: if the Ravens, they're the 4 p.m. game Saturday. If they win, they clinch the division, and Pittsburgh has nothing to play for the division wise, but their seeding changes.
Yeah.
So, and if they beat the Bengals, obviously they keep them out, and the rivalry is very strongly in effect. The Steelers are 4-1 against the Bengals last 5 matchups. So, Joe Burrow wants the MVP award. He deserves it. He deserves it more than anyone else. I'll say it. Lamar and Josh, they've played their butts off. They've had really good seasons. No one's had a better season, pure passing, than Joe Burrow.
Dude, me and Connor were looking. When did he hit the 250 last game? Like third quarter?
It was the 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, those passing stats are not normal.
What, he had 411? He got his 3rd touchdown, the last passing touchdown of the game, luckily, or else he wouldn't have got it. But
I bet on for the Browns game to throw for 250 plus and T. Higgins anytime touchdown. And I was going to do that again this past week, and I didn't do it. And I told Danny I should have.
You should have done the 3 touchdowns. I bet that was at plus, I don't know, 1,200, maybe more.
How many things went wrong right at the pylon, though, in that game, and then you win the game?
Jamar dropped a touchdown. Chase Brown sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
They said he's expected to play Saturday.
I know. I
don't know what did that do? Take an extra 10 seconds off?
Well, their goal was him to go down at the 1.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. But they had to use timeout, and they just pushed him in anyway. And then they still up with touchdown double covered, so it doesn't make sense. Anyway, we've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. We got to end it.
Go Bucks. Go Irish. This should be a hell of a playoff. Penn State, Boise State, that game would be funny, but I'd be lying if I wasn't.
Yeah, let me see.
Penn State.
Go Nittany Lions. Go Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Hook 'em. Go Dogs.
I will say I don't really care what happens in the Texas game. That's one where I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah, I don't. For Ohio State's sake, if they were to win, I'd want them to play probably Arizona State, but also Texas. Give them the toughest path possible. Prove that you win a national championship. But
if we beat Oregon, I don't care if we play Boise State 3 times in a row after that. We beat Oregon.
Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2025.
See you next year.
Maybe we'll have some new shakeups. Maybe not.
Sponsor me.
Get your drink on.
We'll be celebrating tomorrow night. For me, I'm AJ. That's Danny. That's Connor.
Hi.
Peace. Love. Respect. We don't know ball.
Hemorrhoids.
You got to play the outro.